I know what to be changed, know what needs to be changed. In reality, sometimes some of these things that need to be fixed and changed are perfectly fine the way they are. So when I first get in office, the first thing I want to do is take a survey of what students want, of what they need, of what's going on in the dorms, of what's going on around campus. Do you feel discriminated against? Do you feel like your grades are right? Because you know what, the student voice needs to be heard. And on those surveys, then I will appoint proper representation for each part. I mean, right now in the ASUC, you know, you have a body of students that's in there. But if you want representation around the whole board, I mean, you got to have all cultures. And I've come to realize that it's only, well, actually none African American inside there. So how are we going to represent a whole campus that is really diverse if you have no African Americans inside the ASUC? So my first thing, like I said, is to take a survey. The second thing will be to listen to the students and make sure that you know what they want. Not just say, oh, I'm going to come here and promise you this, I'm going to promise you that, and guess what? And nothing happens. It's the same old gang, the same old lollygag. I'm here about change, and I will make change because I'm standing for you as you stand for yourselves. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, so these advisory committees are really important because they really do shape and influence a lot of the major issues on our campus. The first thing that I would do is make sure that I myself are educated on the issue. For me, being in the Senate this year, I've learned about many different communities and many different issues that our campus is facing. I will also make sure that there's a mechanism for those committees to actually have student input. So, for example, I talked about setting up a B-Space forum for the academic senate representatives to get information back to the students. I can do the same for students who are on the advisory committee. As this year as a current ACC senator, I've been working with the Career Center to develop a new program over the summer so that students can be better connected to career opportunities, so that we are connected to alumni, partner institutions and NGOs for those experiences. And for us to be able to plan that properly, me and myself and the Career Center developed a survey for students. And I have been doing class rests, I've been going to organizations and really reaching out to students to get their feedback. We can do the same for the advisory committee so that we really gauge student needs and student interests. Thirdly, I will make sure as AVP I hold the committee responsible and accountable to what they say that they will do. This year, as the only international student representative, I raised $300,000 in scholarships for international students. However, that money was going to the wrong unit on campus. So I followed up and I made sure that that actually translated into financial aid for international students. I can do the same for this committee by using my relationship with administration and making sure that they hold its student interests at their core. Thank you.
Okay, well, I've heard a bit from these candidates in person, and that hasn't really actually changed any of my opinions. One candidate says student interests should be upheld, and then the other one says the student voice needs to be heard. And I don't know which one said which, because I didn't bother to write it down. And in some Daily Cal articles, actually, one says that we should facilitate an improved connection between students and the Career Center by organizing forums, so on and so forth. We should also set up a website similar to B-Space to publicize university and campus decisions. The other one says an online portal for students could be established. The other one says we should increase awareness of Career Center resources, so on and so forth. And yeah, I can't really tell the difference between you two. And, you know, I honestly didn't want to come to this debate today, and that was because I thought, you know, maybe the problem isn't that you guys are exactly the same, it's that the right questions aren't being asked. And then, you know, I had this epiphany. It's actually not the question asker's fault. It's your faults for being exactly the same person and for being, you know, it's like being confronted with a gluten-free raw food vegan buffet. There's lots of options, but you don't want any of them. It's like, seeing you guys is like, it makes me wonder, you know, maybe the moral choice for me to do is...
Time.
All right. No, it wasn't time. You know, I feel like since you guys exhibit about as much personality as, I don't know, a sheep or a cow, maybe I should switch from eating, you know, meat to cannibalism. That would be the moral choice for me. You guys suck. I hate you.
Yeah, you can be Yeah, you should go first. You can
appropriate responsibility. Okay, cool. So the role of the Academic Affairs Vice President is to represent students and really to really be visible on our campus. The student voice does need to be heard with the administration, and I believe that I will do this by holding the administration accountable. Some of these meetings are confidential, and I want to make sure that you know what's going on in these meetings and that you hear what is being discussed. Not only that, I have worked in the Academic Affairs Office. I know the structure of the Academic Affairs Office. I am the Career Resources Director currently, and I have worked with Tom Devlin, the Executive Director of the Career Center. And I know that these programs can be instilled by helping out with working with the RAs in the residence halls. For example, I have already worked with Tom Devlin to make sure that we have an introduction to the Career Center in the residence halls. By introducing these resources already, not only are we helping to facilitate an early relationship with the underclassmen and the Career Center, we're also making sure that they know what's available to them and how it's accessible and make sure that they can use these resources. Not only that, I will make sure that the student advisory committees, they know what is being discussed and among us as the students, because we have the student voice. We are the student voice. We need to make sure that the advisory committees knows this and really know what we need on our campus right now. Thank you.
Thank you. And Viola, would you like to respond? Yeah.
Okay.
For sure.
Okay, so I really appreciate your point of view, but I'm here to tell you that there is a real difference. Between the candidates this year, there's one who has a lot of experience, there's one who has already worked with the Career Center to start implementing this program, there's one who has already raised $300,000, there's one who has already talked to over 100 different groups on our campus, and there's one who hasn't. There's one who comes from a party who actually knows how to mobilize, knows how to organize, knows how to be proactive, and there's one that's come from a party that this year has done literally nothing to stand up for students in a year where there are budget cuts that are affecting even courses that we can take. And
Thank you. Okay. No. You can respond because she was directly referenced. You can't respond, sorry. You have a 30-second response. No, she didn't mention you, I'm sorry.
As the Career Resources Director, I know the Academic Affairs Office. I know the structure and what we can accomplish in a year. I know the potential that we have, and I want to make sure that not only do we make sure that the Academic Affairs Office is visible, but make sure that we have a presence on campus by knowing what you need in the office and what you need from the office. Not only that, I sit on the Academic Senate Committee. I know what it takes to be a student representative, and the constitutional role of the Academic Affairs Office is to appoint these students. You can't appoint the students if you don't know what the committee talks about and if you don't know what it takes to be a representative.
Question. Can I retroactively state that I did include him in my response and that he should get a 30-second response?
Yeah. I think I should. First of all, I love you. No, let me tell you, because you see, even when people say that, they hate you, whatever, I mean, students are angry. Students want change.
yes! Yes, they do!
Do y'all want change?
Yes!
Y'all want change, and guess what? When you put me inside office, I guarantee that I will bring that change, because guess what? I'm going to work for you. I'm not going to get the lollygag, play politics, and hey, I'm not up here for any accolades or a place on my resume to say I was with the ASUC. I don't care about that. I'm here for the student because I'm a student just like you, and I'm passionate about this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, round of applause for all that.